Monica de la Cruz, who's a Republican candidate for Texas's 15th congressional district, and Jesse Holguin, who is the founder of Lexit, which is a Latino exit from the Democrat Party. Monica, they want to blame this on the culture wars. But the issues that Latinos repeatedly say they care most about, inflation and the economy, jobs. Why aren't the Democrats seeing this?
Look, the Democrats have a history of ignoring what Hispanics really want. And what they want is to protect their family. They want law and order. They want to be able to protect their faith. And they love this country and believe in the American dream. The Democrats do not see this. And that's why Democrats like myself are not only walking away from the Democrat Party, but they're running away from the Democrat Party.
Jesse, the fact that Latino voters are giving Biden a 26% approval rating, I mean, you can sense the shockwaves in Washington. When that poll came out, they're like, no, that can't be true. Does it seem accurate to you where you stand?
Very accurate. I see that all over, and I live over here in liberal LA, because it's not so much as we're leaving the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left us. We're not, like you said earlier, we're not cool with this leftism, wokeism, because most Latinos are Catholic or Christian. We're God-fearing people. We have a love for God, so we're totally against that. So that's what we're trying to push, especially us here at Lexit. We're trying to go back to our roots, that Latinos to focus on your godly moral values, focus on your faith.
Well, Monica, I want to play another moment from Paola Ramos. Here's what she's explaining about what Latina moms told her in Florida.
What a lot of these Latina moms are saying, they're regurgitating many of the same talking points you probably heard in Virginia. They're anti-critical race theory. They're anti-LGBTQ issues being taught in schools. They're anti-COVID protections.
Well, Monica, they're pro kind of traditional values, which, again, the left looks down with derision.
That's exactly right. They're pro traditional family values. They want their kids to learn about these traditional family values. But what's most upsetting right now for moms is that they're worried about just simply putting food on the table. Gas prices are going up. Some moms are not even able to find the baby formula of their choice. But everyday living has become a struggle for American families. And in Texas 15, our American energy is under attack. This is the way people feed their families here in Texas 15 and in South Texas.
Well, the school closure issue, Jesse, is so still so present in the minds of parents because they're seeing what happened to kids who were kept out of schools for so long with masks and everything else. The Latino community on that issue, I think, exploded for the Republicans. Your thoughts on that?
Exactly, because we see the communist push, even like what they're trying to do with the gun grab. We're against that. We're pro-Second Amendment, and we know because we know about communism and corrupt government, so we see what they're doing with all that, with the lockdowns and all of that, and we're totally against all of that stuff. That's why we leave. That's why we flee our country, is because of that stuff. So we, like you said, and then plus, like you said, so many of us lost our jobs, but yet we see Pelosi and all of them eating at restaurants. Just the hypocrisy, we're just waking up for it. And then a lot of it, too, is we're waking up from the fake media. They're not able to manipulate us before like they were in the past. Most Latinos, we know and don't trust the fake media anymore.
Now, Monica, in fact, this issue of the school closures came up really briefly today at the White House briefing room. We had the COVID spokesperson and the White House press secretary. Watch how this was handled.
Schools will and must be open this coming fall.
Oh, yeah. You have to go.
He has to go.
Sorry, where am I?
They're not committing to schools staying open this fall. That was clear. That was cut off for a reason, Monica. What would that do to Hispanic parents, all parents, obviously, across this country?
Look, May was just a month of mental health awareness, and we saw the devastating effects of school closures on our children. This is something that parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles must take seriously. We must keep schools open, but we must also protect and have security to protect our children. As Jesse said, Hispanics believe in law and order. We believe in the Second Amendment because there are many families who are fleeing his South American countries where there is no law and order. And so we must protect our children in schools, and we must open the schools and keep them open for our children.
Jesse, you mentioned the issue of guns. Well, today, Axios reported that some Latino Democrats say their party needs a Spanish language campaign to counter GOP messaging and misinformation around guns and other threats to democracy. I guess they're talking about January 6th. Is that going to affect the vote, do you think, January 6th and the gun, AK-47, weapons of war, all that?
Not at all, because like I said earlier, we're pro-Second Amendment, and like how the sister just said, we know about these corrupt communism and all that stuff. So we want our guns, and we want all. So it's not going to fly. And like I said, we're waking up. We're not being bamboozled no more like they did in the past by all the Spanish. Because a lot of people don't know that these Spanish channels can be as bad as fake news CNN and all them. They're straight total propaganda. So that's why us and other conservatives, we're pushing real stuff out there so Latinos are getting a different view. So that's what they're scared of. Like me, I'm a perfect example. I'm an ex-gang member from LA, from La Puente, California, a lifelong Democrat, and I left the Democrat Party. Before, in the past, you would have never seen that in the past, but that just goes to show that we're tired of this. We're not into this liberal, left-leaning. We're pro-God. We're pro-family.
Well, where did it lead? I mean, look around you. Look at the cities. Look what's happening. It's leading to utter destruction and despair for people from all backgrounds, and especially those who are most at risk. Monica and Jesse, I have a feeling